We all have this notion that one day we will suddenly become successful when something will happen to us. Right now it is not, but it will suddenly happen. But that is never how anybody succeeds. Success requires improving yourself 0.1% at a time in little factors. Like for example, you could reduce your sleep by 10 minutes. Swamiji, if I reduce my sleep by 10 minutes, will I become a saint? No. It will take you one step further in the journey because you will have 10 more minutes to utilize in a productive way. So, in the same way, you could improve your thoughts by 0.1%. You could increase your intensity of meditation by 0.1%. And if you keep doing this on a regular basis, slowly you find you've transformed so much. So the transformation at the end is amazing, and people don't realize how it happens. When I was in standard 5, our neighbor, there was a girl who was in standard 8, and she used to be a Rattu Tota. So all day long she would be with this book in her hand, trying to mug up the things. And we would laugh because her performance in school was terrible. Then later on I met her again. By now she had started reaching the top of her class. And a few years later I got news that she had got a gold medal in her post-graduation in Delhi University. Said, wow, this is the law of compounding effects in practice. That little improvement she was doing was making a big difference. Now somebody else who wanted something more spectacular by way of results would have said, what's going on here? This will never happen. But that is how people succeed. In other words, success is not a magic. Success is not a blessing that suddenly comes, okay, now you're enlightened. That kind of blessing we all want, right? Guruji, like Ramakrishna Paramahansa put his hand on Swami Vivekananda's head, and Swami Vivekananda had this divine experience, he also put it on my head. So you are not seeing the rest of the story. Ramakrishna Paramahansa had 1,000 disciples. Why did he just put his hand on Swami Vivekananda's head and nobody else's? Because Swami Vivekananda over past lives had reached that stage through repeated practice. If it was so cheap, he would have said, all right, nobody needs to learn anything, you just stand in a line and come, I'll put my hand on everybody's head and you will all go to Golok. So, the final goal of God realization is never attained cheaply. It is attained through the daily rigors of our practice. In other words, everything you do will make a difference. You have the dream and the vision. That dream motivates you to get going. You see, people are motivated. Some people are really motivated. Some people are less motivated. The factory manager is troubled because his workers are not motivated. Come on, do it. Like, in India, we would find these workers who would come for housework. After 1 hour, they have to take a break and smoke bidi. No motivation. So you see, my God, they don't have any motivation at all. They have it when the time is over. The ghanti rings in the factory, then you see how quickly they run to find out what happened in the India-Pakistan test match. They are motivated but not here. All through my school and college life, everybody said I have got no motivation. And when I went in for an internship in my engineering and then MBA, both of them gave a report, he is not motivated. So my father scolded me. My father said that, look, I found out why Eicher Tractors did not like you. They said you don't have any motivation. So I said, yeah, I must get motivated, but how do I get motivated? And the reason was I didn't have a strong enough why. Motivation comes from a strong enough why. I didn't have that strong enough why. And when I came to the spiritual path, that strong enough why came, and the motivation also came. So motivation comes from a strong reason, and it gets you going. But that's not enough. After that, what you need is discipline. And discipline is what keeps you going. Discipline is the bridge that connects your present state with your dreams. Right now, some of the Indian hearts are aflame with the recent successes of Virat Kohli. 4 centuries in 1 IPL. Has anybody been following that? So what I was following was his interview where he says what is his discipline that he's implementing. He said in one interview, he said that every time I go to the nets to practice, every time I want to improve in something and become better through my practice that day. Said, wow, that kind of razor sharp focus. Then he said, even though the practice is so boring, you have to put that boringness aside and go ahead with it. He is willing to sacrifice immediate gratification. That is the formula for success. Now anybody may say, Aji Saab, look at him, he just whacks it all over the place and hits them for sixes. But he is reaching that through a certain kind of discipline. So discipline is required everywhere in life. 1970 was the last time that the Indian hockey team won the World Field Hockey Gold Cup. That was the Ajit Pal Singh team. Some of you may have followed it. So they were asked, how did you succeed? Was it by the will to succeed? So the answer he gave was, no. It was by the will to prepare. That part people forget. The will to prepare, that requires discipline.